What's happening, everybody? Happy Sunday night and welcome back. Today's suggestion comes from a young man named YEET, and I'm pretty sure that's you, Cole. So he has asked to make a really awesome sports car. So that sounds like a really great idea. And I have this magic book right here. And this book was given to me when I first started teaching 115 years ago by a wonderful, wonderful colleague of mine, Miss Rodriguez. This is your shout out. Hope you're doing well. And inside of it is just some gold plan to leave for a substitute art teacher. And on the very first page is automotive design. So we're going to use this to help our video today. It says, design the car of your dreams. On the back, write a story about where you would drive this car. And that is it. And there's even an awesome example to look at. Now, I'm going to take it to the next step, and I'm going to show you how to make a 3D car. So what I've created is this template out of the back of a folder. And the important thing that I did was I tried to make the shape of a car. Perhaps you could turn it this way and you could make kind of an old school car. I want something more of like a fancy convertible. So I'm gonna turn it this way. The key is that you have some points so that you're gonna be able to connect them. And then if you wanna round your car off later, it does not have to look like this in the end. So, Yeet, we're gonna make you a 3D car. Let's get into the creation station and check it out. All right, so here we are back in the creation station, and we are landscape orientation today because we wanna go across with our car. I'm gonna go ahead, like the bottom left corner, I'm gonna come up a little bit with my little template, and I am going to trace it with a pencil. And I'm not really sure where this is gonna take me, but I like the shape, and you know, part of the concept is just kind of starting with that and seeing where it leads you. So right now we're just carefully tracing our guide shape. And then what we want to do is we want to think about, well, how wide is the hood, and then give it a little bit of an angle. So something like that. And the second half, anywhere where it overlaps, we're not going to trace because we would just be erasing it anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead like this. This is probably like that old square that you probably used to draw back in the day, you know, where you draw the little box and you make the little box and then you sort of connect and you end up with that 3D design. So we're gonna go ahead and use that as our starting point here. And then we're gonna simply connect our matching points. So we have some matching points here that we are connecting. All right, and if you want to use a ruler, you can do that. I like to just sort of freehand it. So that is the basic design of our car. What we're going to do now is go ahead and I'm gonna take my Sharpie and just sort of like completely outline all of the goody stuff that is going to be our 3D form that we're going to be working with. All right, so I'm going to go ahead around like this. I'm going to go around the outer edge and up a little bit and then down. All right, so I want this to be the back. That's totally cool. We'll keep it like that. We definitely want the side to be clearly visible, just like that. All right. We can decide about like the front and the middle in a little bit. So at this point, we're just gonna kind of take our eraser and we'll get rid of that area. And we wanna think about how the wheels are going to come into play. So I've seen a lot of these new cars that are looking kind of like a motorbike. So I'm going to look for creating some sort of rounded shape that probably comes out of the vehicle. Like that would be really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm probably gonna start with a pencil. I want it to come down about to the middle here, and I don't want it to stick out past. So we're looking at about right here. And so some sort of circular shape that goes like that. Now, it looks a little funny, so I'm just gonna kind of smooth it out. All right, so I got a really good curve that I'm happy with. And I'm gonna go ahead and just work with that. Okay, and we wanna give it a little bit of a thickness. So this is what we would imagine. We'd imagine we go up and back like we did before. So I'm gonna go up and back a little bit. I'm gonna go back and up a little bit. All right, so we're talking about maybe right about here, you know, creating a second circle and then really dialing it in. Is that how we want it to look? Okay, and all we really need is the back portion of it. All right, so we're gonna kind of keep that in there, tie that in, and then maybe that'll be like our tire tread. It will be kind of a cool little angle there. All right, and we can decide like how we want the rim to look. We can get all fancy with it in a little bit. So we're gonna put one on the other side. All right, so if we put our shape back up, just like we had right here, I'm gonna draw sort of another wheel coming out. There's a little bit more out like that and a little bit more up like that. So that tells me that over here, we probably have another wheel. It's probably gonna come up like that. So we can do our little design however we want to. And then take our eraser and boom, we got the back wheels. I think on the front, we're probably only gonna see one of them. So again, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna kind of pick our starting point. We want it to come down a little bit low. Maybe our front wheel is gonna be a little bit smaller. Like that looks weird. This is why we're drawing it with a pencil first. Okay, so I'm gonna come down and out with the pencil. We're gonna come out a little bit more and in a little bit more. All right, I think I have something that I like there. So we're coming like this, coming out, we're coming in. All right, so we got something nice and clean. Okay, and then if this wheel's going, side of the wheel's going back, the perspective is going back, we're probably gonna end up with something that goes back a little bit. So there we go, boom. So those are our fancy wheels on our fancy new car. It's gonna be convertible style. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and let's take this shape and we'll use our pencil. We'll draw a seat sticking up. So if we want it sticking up at an angle, all right, we'll do the same thing here. Sticking up, give it a little angle. All right, kind of connect. Maybe we want it to be a little bit more rounded, so round it a little bit. All right, I'm just going to kind of fill that in. It's going to be sort of our luxury seating, so to speak, and side of our car here. Our seats probably gonna come out like this, and we're just going to kind of follow the angle. We're going to go about halfway, like a nice deep seat. Okay, we'll have a nice seat in there. All right, a fun spot to put somebody. Is it going to be the kind of car that you jump into? I don't know. I think we're going to put a door that goes at about seat side. And maybe it has a little catch right there. And then you want it to be able to open pretty wide So we could have it like open all the way to the glass. Let's do that. Have it open just like that, like a little cagey kind of feel. All right. We'll go ahead and sort of include that and include that. And then maybe just like a real fancy handle. Maybe something with a little, we'll just have like a simple little knob here. Maybe give it a little twist on the end, just a little point to it. All right. Maybe it has like a thumbprint identification here or something like that. So we're just gonna put like a circle. Who knows what that does? Maybe it's a button, maybe it's a sensor, whatever. All right, so let's put some tail lights on the back. We're gonna do something fancy. We'll have something like this. And then maybe we'll have something like round. And then we'll have a little spot for a plate. All right, so we're adding a little fun factor here. All right, you got like little eyes, little lights. Make the lights blink. All right. And let's go ahead and add a windshield. So what we'll do is we'll just put like a nice tall windshield. A nice tall windshield. Same thing in the front. We'll have it like this. It'll sort of go up. I'll have it like this. Sort of go up. And then we'll have something coming across. So we'll go ahead and build that structure up. And I got like this little erase mark, which gave me an idea to sort of put just like a little nuance of design on it. So we'll kind of put that down there. All right, so we'll do the same thing on the other side. A little nuance of design. Sort of like that. Something sort of fancy going across the front. And then we'll have it connect. Just like that. And then we're gonna add a little thickness. So you have sort of something to hold on to. Right about there. This thing's starting to look kind of like a Jeep. All right, so now we can get rid of the stuff in the front. And get rid of the little lines right in here. We're gonna have like a pretty hip dashboard. We're gonna put a wheel. Let's go ahead and just get a wheel in here. Make it a two-seater. So we're just gonna get a nice circle going. Nice circle going. All right, there we go. We'll make something kind of fancy, kind of like that, kind of Batmobile-y. Kind of extend it inside a little bit. All right. Go ahead and color it in. All right, so I got a Hot Wheel there. I'll have a little face going across. We can get all sorts of crazy with sort of like the details and the features on the big screen. Make it look like a little computer. Give a little action with some gauges in here. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and kind of put all that behind the steering column. I'm gonna kind of layer it. All right, so we have some fun stuff happening. And yeah, so we got a little, I'm gonna put a little light in the front. Something like that. Get a little fun design going on in the hood. I'll have a little shape going on up there. A little shape going on over here. All right. And let's start messing with the rim. It's like a big bolt shape. Kind of like that. There we go. And we'll go follow the wheel pattern, or shape, so to speak. All right, and then we're gonna kind of swirl, sort of like the sun, and it kind of matching the treads. Whoop. All right, so we got that design filled in here. And really, this is getting to the part where you can start customizing, and your possibilities are pretty much endless. My goal here was to give you a good starting shape so that you wouldn't kind of get stuck in this whole, like, I'm gonna draw a car that I've seen before sort of thing, but you're gonna create something kind of unique and different, and like let this sort of guide you to, you know, where would you take this for your next step. So I'm just gonna put like a really weird shape inside of there, something that kind of contrasts with what I already have. So maybe that could become something inside of the logo. I'm gonna work this wheel in the front here so we have something to match. We'll talk about what it would look like if we turn one to the side. So maybe that the pattern in the wheel alternates itself a little bit. That could be a fun feature, you know, creating a sense of variety in your design. So we're gonna go just like that. I'm gonna kind of thicken out some of these to make them a little bit more even now that my design is finished, which is one of the things that comes in handy when you're working with pencil, is kind of touching things up with the Sharpie, using the Sharpie to enhance sort of where your guide got you. All right, so I'm gonna kind of thicken it up there, turn it here, turn it here, turn it here, turn this one in a little bit. Boom. Okay, so now we're gonna start doing that. Okay, so we'll play a little bit with the movement in the back of it. A little movement going on in the back of it. Add to the sporty nature of our design. And that is about it. We got I'm gonna call it the Cool Car for Coal. And we're gonna go ahead and just throw a big yeet. Right there on the side of it, a big old exclamation point, and sign our name. So, where would I drive this? I would drive this car to the creation station and back and forth, and every time I did something cool to modify it, I would make a new video showing what it was. So, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's video. You enjoyed using a template to create your work. You found some more good uses for the pencil and eraser. Keep the comments and suggestions coming. Like and subscribe for more action, and have a wonderful week ahead.